very important, I think, close to all of our hearts. And first of all, at the personal level, first of all, we need to educate ourselves. If we're going to be advocating for bladder cancer awareness and for advances in the field, we have to know what we're talking about. I know a lot of us go to the website for the American Bladder Cancer Society, and we go to the forum, we go to the Sunday night chat, we have a great time with our friends. But every once in a while it's important to go and push all those other buttons and refresh our memories on statistics, on all the science behind it, talks such as we heard today, so that when we discuss bladder cancer, we're informed. Nothing can harm a cause more than uninformed advocates. Then we go to the second part, which is to educate others. Now, if we go back to, for example, breast cancer in the 50s, we didn't talk about it. People had it, but they were ashamed of it. They never talked about it. Things have changed. Now we wear pink and we march across the country. Bladder cancer is a little behind that. It's not something we talk about. People are diagnosed and they don't want to mention it. Well, that's not going to do us any good. I think the first thing that we need to do on educating other people and making them aware so that it doesn't happen to them is to tell our stories. This is something we can talk about. It's something that if we find it early, it's very curable, very treatable, and if we don't, there's disaster ahead. And so one of the best ways that we can advocate is to tell our story to others so that they're aware of what can happen to them. And I feel that's very important. This is something that has to come out of the closet. The second thing is to work in the community. Again, share your story. Because if people know the symptoms, they know what's happening, then they're going to get treatment. Derek spent a long time this morning talking about blogging, about social media, about how to bring this to people's attention, and we need to take advantage of that to get our story out. Second is the use of local media. We all have our little newspapers, and I don't mean necessarily the New York Times, but our local media, our local television stations. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and Mark Lucas, a very famous basketball player, passed away. He was also a coach of the Oregon Trailblazers, passed away about a year ago from bladder cancer. It was splashed all over the papers. I called the local editor, the health editor of the paper, and tried to get them to put an article in the paper on bladder cancer because it was very much in the news. I didn't get anywhere, but maybe somebody in another town can do this. When there is an occasion, get it in the local paper, along, for example, with the website of the American Bladder Cancer Society, so that people have access to information and, again, are aware that it can happen. We've lost several celebrities in the last few years, and we should take advantage of that, as sad as it is, to make more people aware. Another thing, if you notice on our website, Cynthia has posted an announcement on the forum of great nonprofit reviews and asked us to go in and review the society, bring up our numbers, bring it to people's attention. The website says it takes 3 minutes to do this. And I didn't last that long because they said they heard from me a couple years ago. I didn't remember that. But it's important to, any time that we can bring the societies to public notice, the better we're going to be. And I would, if you haven't, go to the forum, and on the front page of the forum there's a notice to please go and sign up with this great nonprofits and bring our society to the attention of the public. The next thing is to join an advocacy group. Now, I think all of you have, because you're with us here, but as a group we can do much more than we can do as individuals. The next thing is, it's not enough just to join, we have to become active. The one problem, well, we have two problems. One is money. We never have enough money. But even more desperately, we need people. We need people power. Cynthia and Ed spend a lot of time. How much, Ed? Full time. Full time putting things together for this society and working for it. People say, well, yes, I'll volunteer, and then they don't. We have a group of many fewer than there should be. People such as Mike, Catherine, Anita, Linda, who really are working, but we need more of you. If you could volunteer, just tell Cynthia that you would like to take some of the load off of her and pick up a job. This is something that's really needed. The next thing on my list, whoops, that's all right, I've got it, is to get your urologist involved. Have you talked to your urologist about the American Bladder Cancer Society and what you're doing? Ask him for ideas of things you might do in your local community. Ask if she has ideas that the American Bladder Cancer Society could adopt to bring to the public's attention. And some of us, I think, are working with the society, and we're also working with our urologist, but the ideas, the worlds never meet. And I think that by making the urologist familiar with our website, with our society, and with our goals, we can bring in even more patients, because that doctor might want to recommend the website to a patient who needs information or communality. Okay, the next thing, and you notice I've got it in capital letters, is raising funds. As I said, the first thing we need is volunteer person power, and the next thing we need is funds. It's very difficult to raise funds. How do we do it? The first thing, of course, is to donate ourselves, if we can. Not everybody can do it. If we can't donate ourselves, what can we do? Well, some fundraising ideas, and these have come from people who've actually done it for the American Bladder Cancer Society. One is to have an organization that's looking for a project. A lot of organizations are looking for charitable projects, and they change from year to year. Is to have a local organization that you're a member of do something, have a raffle or a sale or something for bladder cancer. The second, members have had neighborhood yard or garage sales, which go to benefit the American Bladder Cancer Society. One, it may bring in some money. Two, it will raise awareness of the condition. And that's something that we can all do, and it doesn't cost